world of WWE, the bright lights hide shadows no one expects. Behind the heroes of the ring lie shattered lives, brutal decisions, and crimes that erased careers forever. Today, we reveal 10 wrestling stars who went from thunderous applause to the silence of prison, where their only opponent is their own past. 1. Brian D.T. Porter McGee. In July of 2013, outside the apartment he shared with his girlfriend, a heated argument exploded. What began as another fight turned into a nightmare. Something inside Brian snapped. Anger became uncontrollable violence. Witnesses later described screams, blows, and a brutal scene that unfolded in minutes. When it was over, the young woman lay lifeless beyond saving. What followed was even more disturbing. Instead of calling for help, Brian opened his phone and began posting messages online, almost like a twisted victory speech. At first, people thought it was some kind of dark joke. They were wrong. It was the echo of a crime just committed. Police arrived soon after, alerted by emergency calls and the eerie posts. They found the victim, but Brian had already fled. He crashed his car during his escape and was taken to a hospital. Once stabilized, the show was over. He was charged with first-degree murder. After years of trial delays, evidence, witness accounts, and those social media posts sealed his fate. In 2016, the verdict was delivered: guilty. The judge sentenced him to life in prison without parole. For the man who once dreamed of championships, his only arena now is a cold prison hallway, where every day reminds him of the night his world collapsed forever. 2. Hardbody Harrison. Rumors began quietly. Women entered his house, but rarely left. Some escaped in silence, leaving behind small clues that eventually reached federal authorities. In August 2005, the FBI raided 2 of his properties. What they found was horrifying. 8 women were discovered being held captive. Some showed visible signs of abuse. Others had empty stares shaped by fear and manipulation. They described strict rules, punishments, fake debts, and psychological control. One victim even described a personal set of commandments imposed on her. At trial, Norris made a shocking decision. He chose to defend himself. He told the jury that his home was simply a wrestling training center and that the women were there by choice. But the testimonies, evidence, and years of abuse destroyed his story. The verdict came swiftly: guilty. In 2008, Harrison Norris was sentenced to life in prison. Behind the image of a tough wrestler was a predator who had built his own kingdom of terror, and the truth finally crushed it. 3. Tammy Sytch. In wrestling's golden era, Tammy Sytch shined like a superstar. Her smile, charisma, and explosive energy made her one of the most famous divas of her generation. To fans, she was glamour and excitement. Behind the cameras, her life was slowly collapsing. Addiction, reckless behavior, and dangerous choices pulled her closer to the edge. Then came the night in 2022 that changed everything. Tammy was driving her Mercedes at extreme speed while heavily intoxicated. She crashed directly into a stopped vehicle at a traffic light. The driver inside was killed instantly. At the hospital, tests revealed her blood alcohol level was over 3 times the legal limit. She was arrested and charged with vehicular manslaughter and DUI. Though she initially posted bail exceeding $200,000, the judge later revoked it, calling her a danger to the community. Today, Tammy waits behind bars, facing a future that could include decades in prison. Once adored worldwide, her name now carries the weight of a tragedy that ended one life and destroyed another. 4. Eugene Bach Zumhofe. Once known as the king of rock and roll inside the ring, Eugene Zumhofe built his fame on loud charisma and vintage showmanship. But behind that colorful image hid a secret so disturbing it erased everything he built. In 2013, investigators uncovered 12 charges of sexual abuse, all connected to a single victim, his own daughter. The courtroom fell silent as she testified. With steady courage, she described years of abuse hidden behind touring schedules, shows, and public smiles. Every word shattered the illusion of the man fans once admired. Then came a shocking moment. Right after being found guilty, Zumhofe tried to run from the courtroom. Guards tackled him before he reached the exit. His sentence: 25 years in prison. A lifetime created through performance was destroyed by the truth he tried to bury. 5. Velveteen Dream, Patrick Clark. Patrick Clark, known as Velveteen Dream, was once seen as the future of WWE. His bold style, purple glamour, and theatrical presence made him unforgettable. But in August 2022, everything unraveled inside a local gym. After being asked to leave an area under cleaning, a simple request turned into a violent explosion. Clark argued, threatened an employee, and then physically attacked him. Both men were injured. Police were stunned to find bite marks on the victim. Clark was arrested for assault and threats. After being released on bail, he violated probation and was returned to jail. WWE later cut all ties with him. Once a superstar in the making, his career disappeared in a matter of months, consumed by rage and scandal. 6. Teddy Hart. Born into wrestling royalty, Teddy Hart seemed destined for greatness. Instead, his life became a slow collapse filled with arrests and chaos. In 2020, he was arrested in Texas for assault on a disabled person, drug possession, and evading police. He served only 10 days in jail. 1 year later, he was arrested again, this time in Virginia for illegal drug possession. Fans who once defended him now watch as his future grows darker. Today, he remains trapped in legal trouble, a symbol of wasted talent and self-destruction. 7. Ken Nightmare Wayne. Ken Wayne was seen as a disciplined veteran and mentor in wrestling. That image shattered in 2014 when police searched his home after receiving an anonymous tip. On his computer, authorities discovered illegal material involving minors. Charged and convicted, Wayne initially faced 20 years in prison, but a plea deal reduced his sentence to 5 years, followed by house arrest and lifetime registration as a sex offender. Though his prison time was shortened, his reputation was destroyed forever. Today, he lives under strict supervision, his legacy erased. 8. Cain Velasquez. A hero in both MMA and wrestling, Cain Velasquez was known for honor and discipline. Until February 2022, after learning that a man accused of abusing a child in his family was free on bail, Cain took justice into his own hands. He chased the suspect's vehicle for over 11 miles and fired multiple gunshots. The bullets missed the suspect, but struck his father. Velasquez was arrested and charged with attempted murder and weapons violations. After months in jail, he was released on a $1 million bond under strict house arrest. Some called him a protector. Others called him a criminal. Now, Cain waits for trial, caught between public sympathy and the full force of the law. Number 9. Devin Hannibal Nicholson. Known for his ruthless ring style, Nicholson's aggression eventually crossed into real-life violence. In December 2021, during a live event, he stabbed a referee multiple times in front of a shocked audience. The referee survived after emergency surgery. In 2022, Nicholson was arrested again, this time for assaulting a woman. Authorities confirmed a violent pattern. Today, he awaits trial, no longer seen as a wrestling villain, but as a real-world danger. 10. Brett DiBiase. He carried a legendary wrestling surname, but his downfall came through one of the largest welfare fraud scandals in Mississippi history. Millions in public assistance were stolen. Brett received nearly $50,000 for a drug awareness course that never happened. Instead, the money paid for luxury rehab and personal expenses. Investigators uncovered fake invoices, fabricated documents, and staged events. Facing overwhelming evidence, Brett chose to cooperate with prosecutors. Now in custody, his future sentence depends on how much more he helps the investigation. Even if he someday walks free, his name is forever tied to one of the darkest corruption cases in state history. Thank you for staying with us until the end. If this story shocked you, leave a 2 in the comments and let us know which case affected you the most.